is the remarkable view of the financial district in St. Lucia's capital, Castries. Did you know that Nobel Laureate Sir Arthur Lewis was the first president of the Caribbean Development Bank? He served from 1970 to 1979. Hello and welcome to Celebrating Excellence. For the last 31 years, St. Lucia has celebrated its two Nobel laureates, Sir William Arthur Lewis, who was awarded the Prize for Economics in 1979, and Sir Derek Alton Walcott, who was awarded the Prize for Literature in 1992. The theme for the annual Nobel Laureate Festival in 2024 is Celebrating Excellence, inspiring our collective imagination, fostering national pride. Here's Mr. Daryl Raymond, Chairman of the Board of the St. Lucia Development Bank and the current Country Manager of Rainforest Adventures St. Lucia, reflecting on the contribution of Sir Arthur Lewis to the field of development economics and development banking, and on the role of the youth economy as an engine of economic growth.
St. Lucia Nobel Laureate Sir William Arthur Lewis was a pioneer in the field of development economics. He believed that developing countries could achieve rapid structural transformation if they followed sound economic principles. If they followed principles based on embracing improvements in the productivity of labor, encouraging and enticing foreign direct investment, leveraging modern technology. Sir Arthur Lewis's best work was arguably done in the mid-1950s during his time at the University of Manchester. At the time, he wrote a series of articles based on the principles of development with unlimited supplies of labor. This time frame was also very important because in that period, a number of countries were coming out of intense and difficult periods of colonial exploitation and were struggling with notions on how to achieve sustainable economic development. At the time, the burning question was how do we engineer and finance sustained capitalist development within these vulnerable and peripheral economies. You had big push notions and big push ideas being espoused by economists such as Rosenstein Rodan from the University of London and Albert Hirschman. They argued that at the time, a massive state-sponsored investment was the mechanism to achieve sustained growth. Sir Arthur, however, had alternative views. He advanced a notion of a dual economy model as a principal mechanism by which structural transformation can be achieved. Sir Arthur argued that mechanisms by which a very systematic transfer of labor from a rural or agricultural-based setting to an industrialized or capitalist-based sector could achieve sustainable development. Lewis argued that if human capital could have been transitioned to an industrial sector, the economy would not only realize increased levels of productivity and output, but as the capitalist sector grew, profit levels would increase, national incomes levels would increase, and you would have sustained growth. At that point, the economy would reach some sort of Lewisian tipping point, and that dual economy model, that dual economy would transition to an integrated economic space, and the economy would then be considered modern. One important feature that distinguished Sir Arthur's work at that time was that Sir Arthur was clear and unmistakable in his writing, that he believed that sustained economic growth would require a strong role for entrepreneurship and the private sector. This differed from some of the alternative economic thinking at the time. As we reflect on Sir Arthur's work 70 years later, it is very refreshing to see that many countries still continue to embrace the fundamental tenets of his work and his economic prescriptions. If you look back on history, Operation Bootstrap in Puerto Rico, which utilized the basis of development by invitation, you will see the rudiments of Sir Arthur's work. Sir Arthur was also very prominent in advising a number of African territories in the times coming out of the colonial era. Within a St. Lucian context, we also see current government policies having the fundamental tenets of Lewis's work. I speak specifically to the novel youth economy concept. Here you have a situation where large numbers of St. Lucian youth continue to be unemployed. The level of youth unemployment in St. Lucia doubles the national average, reaching 24%, I think, in 2023. This novel youth economy concept, where seeks now to systematically transition a large number of unemployed persons from a relative state of unproductivity to an industrial or capitalist sector. This is clearly in line with Sir Arthur's thinking of leveraging an unlimited supply of labor. The novelty of this concept also lies in leveraging the intrinsic talents and skills of these young people, thereby maximizing the possibilities for success, all within an ethos of sustained private sector enterprise. It is noteworthy to see that the Caribbean Development Bank has embraced this concept and has provided soft loan support to ensure its continued success. So the government should be lauded for leveraging such a policy in direct line with Sir Arthur's prescription for development utilizing an unlimited supply of labor. Having mentioned the Caribbean Development Bank, it is interesting to know that Sir Arthur Lewis was the first president of the Caribbean Development Bank. He set the groundwork for the establishment of this institution, which is now a robust regional institution which our economies rely on to a great deal. Sir Arthur set the foundation for the CDB, ensuring that it was established with priority placed on research and policy and strong economic analysis. Sir Arthur did tremendous work in ensuring that the CDB was founded with a sustainable political space, being free of partisan influence, but ensuring that shareholder governments gave their full support to the CDB. So the CDB owes a great deal of gratitude to Sir Arthur for the foundation that he laid. Sir Arthur was a very active president in the CDB. He wrote extensively on policy issues that affected our Caribbean civilization. This provided a basis for intense debate and really established the CDB as a center of excellence for economic thinking, while also providing clear policy ideas and policy approaches that Caribbean economies and Caribbean governments at the time could consider in crafting the economic development path. So 70 years later, as we reflect and celebrate Sir Arthur Lewis's work, it is clear that Sir Arthur brought global recognition to the Caribbean region. Sir Arthur provided validation to the notion that small developing states such as St. Lucia, if we employ the right economic strategies and approaches, we can achieve self-actualization and self-determination in crafting our own economic path. To my mind, the challenge moving forward is not only to celebrate Sir Arthur's work, but to ensure that his ideas and his prescriptions are at the forefront of our minds as we craft economic policy and set our development agenda moving forward.
Thank you to our sponsors: the Government of St. Lucia, the Bank of St. Lucia, Labrie Cooperative Credit Union, Flow, St. Lucia Tourism Authority, and DD Media Relations. Visit and share our Facebook page at Nobel Laureate Festival St. Lucia for festival event details, or request a program by emailing info@nobellaureatefestivalstlucia.com or WhatsApp 758-284-2111. We hope to see you at the festival. I'm Delia Dolor. Goodbye.